in the Redneck Garage. Well, I finally got my part in from Amazon, so we're ready to put the tensioner on and the timing cover, and we're about ready to put on the head gasket and the head. The whole thing. Everything. Bolts and all. Here comes Randy. Here comes Randy. He's taking Shelby. So we're going to be having a night party with a little beer and a little head gasket action. So that's where we're going with this. Here's something pretty cool. I've run out of space, and I've got two toolboxes. One's like a Harbor Freight junk box, and the other one's a Craftsman, but they're not that big. So I ordered this today, a 46-inch Milwaukee toolbox that is massive. So I'm going to have to do some cleaning up and some reorganizing in the garage to get this thing in there. But this is going to be super cool, and I'm having it delivered to the house. So we'll do a review on it when I get it. But man, I'm excited about that. Alright, so I got a couple old head bolts that we're going to use as our guide pins for putting it on, but they're so rusty and nasty because they've been sitting outside. I'm going to clean them up a little bit, and then we're going to cut them off here at the bottom to use to drop the head onto the block. So here's the head, and it's cleaned off. I kind of scuffed it just a little bit. It's been sitting in the shop for so long. But you can see on here that these two valves are brand new. Mark had to replace those two because those were bent to crap from when the motor blew up, and then these six right here were fine, and he just cleaned those off and reground them and everything, and those look like they were in good shape. So we're going to install it here on the head. We've got our alignment dowel pins with a little groove in case you need to take a screwdriver to loosen them up, to get them out. You do not use any lube or anything else on a composite gasket like this, and they're really thick if you look at them, and they seal very well. So we're going to be setting it on top of there, and then we're going to be torquing it down. Alright, so you're going to set it over your alignment dowel. And just let her slide down gently. And she's on. Awesome. So now we can go ahead and put our head bolts in, get them started. All these bolts are the same except for one. And that's going to be your front one that goes into a water jacket, and we've had a little sealer on there, and the torque is different on that one. And we got an extra bolt. I'm making sure. Yeah, there's an extra one for sure. Alright, these are 12-point sockets. Let me get my 12-point socket. My Tecton 12-point socket set. It should be half inch. Should be half inch. And it should be a half inch 12-point. Why Jeep decided to use these stupid bolts like this, I do not know, but it is a pain in the butt.
You mean with the extra threads up here?
Well, it's a 12-point socket.
Oh, 12-point.
Which is the only one I've ever seen. I guess maybe there's another one, but most engines have just a standard 6-point. On this one bolt, you have to use on the front of it here, use some thread sealant so the water doesn't seep up through the holes. So we're going to use some of this thread sealant on it, and then we'll put it in there. I'm not sure how much difference it makes, but that's what they say to do, so whatever. And it smells funky. Okay. One thing that you're going to need when you start doing this is you're going to need the torque tightening sequence on this. I printed it out before we did that. And it comes in the repair manual. And you can see it tells you which bolts to tighten in what sequence, so it goes down uniformly, and it gets tightened in degrees. So the first one is going to be 22 foot-pounds all the way across with our cheap torque wrench. So the sequence, we're going to get them all bottomed out. Okay, so if we look at our tightening sequence, it's going to be this one first, 1. It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Believe it or not.
So that's the order that you have to tighten.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like tires. They're supposed to go in a certain pattern.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's the significance of the order?
So it doesn't warp it as you. If you tighten it down from here going this way, it has a chance of warping the head because you're tightening down one side before you do the other. So if you alternate it in sequence, it does it better.
You actually do that on like drums when you're tuning them. You tighten one lug here, then the opposite one across there, and then one over here, then one over here. Yeah.
Interesting. It's fascinating that they have it down that specific.
What's so fascinating?
He's putting together the engine.
Watch your face over there. He's got a wrench. He's going to torque you off.
Not funny.
That's right. It's not. No.
How come you're laughing?
Because you're funny.
No, you're funny.
Whoa, whoa. See? You almost smacked in the eye.
I have to concentrate on this.
I know.
I would probably be in
It's in the right orientation. That's why I laid it like that.
It's 45. Last step is going to be to torque it down to 110 on all your bolts, and then you stop on this front bolt. Is going to be 100, and then the rest are 110 again. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that real quick because I think you understand how a torque wrench works. All right, I got all my Engine Tech push rods, and we're going to put those down in the holes, make sure that they're centered on the lifters, and then we're going to put our rocker arms back on. How cool is that? You want to make sure you get them on the lifter. I usually take a flashlight and look down in there. Make sure. These are all torqued down to 21. Alright, so we've got the top end of the motor put on. Now I can flip it over and put in the oil pump and the tensioner, timing cover assembly, all that we can put on. We can start putting on our thermostat and gasket, and then we'll be ready to put it in the truck pretty quickly. Alright, so that's super cool. I've been working a little bit late tonight. It's getting cold, you can see my breath. All the components are on, so that's the completion of the engine build itself. Everything else is just externals. I'm going to put the tensioner, chain tensioner, timing cover on, harmonic balancer, all that junk's going to be coming on tomorrow. That'll be the next video of assembling all the other stuff on there. But super cool. The engine is built and almost ready to drop into the frame. I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.